Hello everyone, welcome to Voxcel. In this video, we're going to discuss reading passage 3 of test 1. We have already discussed passage 1 and passage 2. If you haven't watched those videos, I would definitely recommend you watching them, but after watching this one. So without further ado, let's dive right in. So if you are familiar with my ritual, what we do is we read the title of the passage. The title says the Sapir-Whorf hypothesis. So hypotheses means basically you can say projections, suggestions, propositions. So there are two people, Sapir and Whorf, and this passage should be about their suggestions, like what are they suggesting, what kind of propositions they are putting forward, something like that. Okay, what kind of suggestions they are giving, what are they even suggesting about the topic. We cannot say anything for sure by reading just the title. We will get to know when we will read the passage, but before reading the passage, what we should do is we should go straight to the questions, see what kind of questions we are dealing with, make a strategy, and then we'll read the passage. So let's see. The total number of questions that we have to solve is let me see. Okay, from question number 27 to 40. So these are the questions that we have to solve. Look at the type of questions now. Okay, questions 27 and 28. So we have to pick two options out of these six options. All right, so we will read them later, but we will right now what we are doing is we are just making a strategy. We are looking at the types of questions we have to solve, and then we will make a like strategy about that. 29, 30. Okay, same. We have to again pick two options from these six options. For 31 to 34, okay, we have been given list of people and we have to match these statements. Which statement is said or is like given by which people, which people. Let me do this. So we have to pick letters A to G. So let's just say Keith Chen. If this person is saying C option, we will write C in front of it. 35 to 39. Okay, we have yes, no, not given. We have to say which questions for which question yes should be our answer, or no or not given. We will write that in front of the question. And for the 40th, we will have to pick one options out of the basically MCQ. So now what we can do is first we will read the questions like this particular question and then read the first paragraph, and then if we find any name, what we will do, we will like color it with green so that we will be able to identify where the name is written, and then we will read these options and try to solve them. And after reading the first paragraph, for example, let's say if we find the answer of like this particular question set 27, 28, or even one out of these two, we will mark that. Maybe we will find these two questions, or maybe we may find any name in it. Let's say we don't find anything. What we will do is after reading this, we will go to this yes, no, not given, read the 35th question or the 40th question and see if that answer is given here or not. Okay, let's read the first question only. Which two statements reflect the ideas of Edward Sapir and or Benjamin Lee Whorf as given in the text? Okay, so wherever these obviously these two names will be mentioned in the text again and again. Reason, because this paragraph is basically on their suggestion. What are the suggestions given by these two gentlemen? All right, so let's read the options. Let's see. Some languages are more efficient than other languages at categorizing reality. So if they say that some languages, maybe A or B or C languages out of all the other languages, they are more efficient than categorizing reality than other languages like DEF, then this will be our answer. B, differences between languages have been exaggerated. So exaggerated just means it is made bigger than it really is. So the differences are not that big as being told by these two gentlemen. The language you speak has a profound effect on your life. So the language affect your life. People who speak the same language may perceive reality differently. So people who are speaking the same language, like just say people who are speaking English, they are looking at reality differently. Without language, the world doesn't make sense. Okay, I believe it could be our answer because that's a common sense. Because if there is no language, the world will not make any sense to us. If we are not able to understand what the next person sitting beside us is saying, we will not be able to make like sense of anything at all. F option, learning multiple languages is beneficial to individuals. Okay, this is also good, true. So we have to, if we learn multiple language, it can be beneficial to individuals. So let's read the first paragraph and see if that's the location here or not. According to linguists Edward Sapir, humans' perception of the world and around them is very much dependent on the particular language their society uses. So, what this person is saying that whatever, sorry about that. So, this person is saying that whatever the language we use, it reflect the world we perceive is according to that. This idea came to be known as linguistic determinism. Writing in the 1920s, Sapir expressed the idea that speakers of different languages inhabit distinct worlds rather than the same world with different names attached to the objects and actions. So, this person, Sapir, is saying that whatever the language the person speaks, he or she looks at the world according to that language. So, if you speak different language, you will look at world differently. Sapir places a huge importance on language as the shaper rather than the reflector of reality. So this person is placing a huge importance on language as the shaper of reality rather than the reflector of reality. Sapir's student Benjamin Lee Woff extended his teacher's view further, describing the world as kaleidoscopic flux of impressions. So this person, Woff, he is also supporting his mentor, his teacher, because he is a student of Sapir, so Sapir is his teacher, or complex mixture of elements that needs to be organized into meaning. So we have to organize the language to give a meaning, proper meaning. This is done through the linguistic systems in our minds. Thus, from the chaos of reality, thousands of separate versions of reality emerge, a unique one for each language. So because from the chaos of reality, because if you do not define reality, it will be chaotic. Okay, so thousands of separate versions of reality emerges from each language. The second hypothesis, linguistic relativism, is the view that speakers of each language view the world differently. So obviously that's the view, like speaker of each language, they see the world differently. Okay, so there are the statements reflecting these two people's views on this particular topic. So you have about 10 seconds. So I forgot to tell you, for every question I will give you around 10 to 15 seconds to tell me the answer. So we have two questions, I will give you 15 seconds for this one, but for the single question I will give you around 10 seconds. So you will have around 15 seconds to tell me which two options should be our answer, or either like or whether both options are given in this paragraph or not. So your time starts now. Okay, time's up. Let's read the options together and see which options are correct. First, some languages are more efficient than others at categorizing reality. So, is there anything mentioned about like some languages they are better at categorizing reality, telling about reality than other languages? No. So, this cannot be our answer. Let me do this. So, obviously, there is nothing comparing languages according to reality. So, this cannot be our answer. B, differences between languages have been exaggerated. So, is there anything telling us that the differences are not that much? In fact, it's quite the opposite. They are saying that the reality we perceive, or the reality we see, or the world, how we see the world, is based upon the language we use. So obviously this is not the correct option, or it cannot be our answer. C, the language you speak has profound effect on your life. Yes, this sorry, this has been told time and time again in this paragraph, that the language you speak, you view the world according to that language. So obviously it has a profound effect on your life. Okay, let's read other options and see which other option can be our answer. I will mark the option here, but first we will read all the six options. D, people who speak the same language may perceive reality differently. Obviously it's not the answer, because they are saying that people who speak different languages, they view the world differently. But within one language group, what's the scenario, what's the case, we don't know about that. Because we are just given that if we are speaking, like just say a language, that group of people speaking a language will view world differently from the group of people speaking b language. So but within that a language, what happens, or what is the scenario, what's the case study, we don't know about that. E, without language the world doesn't make sense. Is there anything about that? Yes, this is our answer, but let me mark F first. Learning multiple languages is beneficial to individuals. Is there anything mentioned about we should learn different kind of languages? No, nothing of that sort. So obviously, let me do this. E option will be our second answer. Without language, the world doesn't make sense. So where it is written both these options. So if you talk about C option, it is written again and again, like speaker of each language view the world differently. So it's a shaper than the this particular thing. Here it is also written humans' perception of the world around them much dependent on the particular language their society uses. Okay, this is for the C option. And where it is written about E. Yes, here. Sorry about that. That needs, okay, so student, so this is for Edwin Sapir, so we have to find both. So and Benjamin, let me mark here where it is. Yeah, Benjamin Leawoff, what he is saying, that it is the kaleidoscopic flux of impressions, or a complex mixture of elements that need to be organized into meaning, and this is done through linguistic systems in our mind. So if we do not make it good, so the world will not be making any sense to us. Okay, and then this person is saying that, and from the chaos of reality, the separate versions emerge from unique versions emerge from each language. So it makes sense according to that particular language. I hope it is clear. Let me mark the locations here, so that after that, if you want to verify, you can easily verify. Questions 27, 28. Okay, and let me copy this. Okay, so I will mark the entire paragraph, because in the entire paragraph this option is again and again in the last sentence also. And obviously other options we can surely say they are not the answers, because either they are not being talked about, or contradictory is true. Okay, so let's read the other question as well. Which two statements reflect Sapir and Wolf's work with the American Indian languages? So wherever there will be mention of American Indian languages, let me change the color for this one. This. So where okay, this is too light for my liking. Okay, let me do this. Okay, so wherever is the mention of American Indian languages, that will be our location. So there is no mention of that, so this cannot be our location. Moving forward, Keith Chen, George Lakoff, Jennifer Martin Hedger. So there is no mention of any of these people here. Moving to the next set of the questions, 35 to 39. Historical attitudes to non-European languages should be considered when evaluating Sapir-Whorf. So there is no mention of non-European languages. So wherever there is mention of non-European languages, so basically non-European languages are maybe belonging to Asian continent or American continent. Okay, basically languages that are not that are not of Europe, like English, Spanish, Portuguese, uh, German, languages like that. So wherever such languages are given which are not from Europe, that will be our location. So when we are evaluating this particular suggestion. And last, which of the options is a summary of the writer's position in the passage? Okay, so we have to pick one. So this option we will only be able to select after reading the entire passage. So we have to write the position of the passage. So we have to find the writer's position. So when we will read the entire passage, we will be able to answer this question much more clearly. So till then, we will not visit it again and again. So now moving on to the second paragraph. Both Sapir and Worf drew evidence from their work with Native American languages. Okay, so American languages, here it is Native American, American Indian, obviously. Okay, oh, sorry about that. Let me change the color. So Native Americans basically are indigenous people of America. Okay, so they are called Indians. Okay, so Indian language, American Indian languages, Native American languages, one and the same thing. Okay, now what we will do is we will read these options. They found structural differences between those languages and English. So Sapir and Worf. So these are the names of the people. So what they found is they found structural differences between these languages and English. Without English, Native Americans are unlikely to integrate properly. So if they don't use English, they will not be able to mix up with the society. Speakers of those languages find it difficult to relate to future time. So people who use Native American languages, they find it difficult to relate to future time. So they are not able to understand the future time. They believe more should be done to protect minority languages. So these two people, they believe we should protect more minority languages and we have to put in more effort. E. The way things are categorized in language influence the speaker's worldview. So however the things are categorized, okay, it influence people's or the speaker's worldview. Okay, so I believe that is the same as E, the language you speak, profound effect. So whatever you view, whatever language you speak, you view the word accordingly. So I believe this can be our answer. Maybe let's see in the paragraph. F, they have more logical categories to divide up human experience. So these American languages, they have more logical categories to divide up human experience. So let's see, read the paragraph together. Both Sapir and Worf drew evidence from their work with Native American languages, noticing that in Hopi language, so this is the language other than English, there is no past, present, and future tense, but actions are divided into manifest and unmanifested. Okay, so in this language, we do not use any past, present, or future tense, but the two things we use is manifest thing, like we speak in the terms of manifestation and unmanifestation. Manifest refers to actual events, past, present, and even future, whereas unmanifested includes dreams, thoughts, and the distant past and future. This similar and differences this and similar differences, they argue, suggest a completely different experience of the world. So they, because of these similarities and differences, people get different experience of the world. While their work is interesting, it should be put into context. So we are saying that though their work is interesting, there should be some sort of context it should be put against. At the time they were formulating their Sorry about that. Formulating their hypotheses, the US government was encouraging the assimilation of Native Americans. So they're saying that while they, at the time, basically when they were doing this particular hypothesis, the US government was trying to assimilate Native Americans. Linguistics like Sapir and Whorf were documenting their languages, which were considered both endangered and exotic. The othering of these tribal cultures may have caused them to overstate the effect of linguistic differences. So they are saying that because of the othering of these cultures, they may have overstate the effect of linguistic differences. Okay, so again, you will have about 15 seconds to tell me the answers because both answers are in this particular paragraph: Native American languages, American Indian languages. So you will have around 15 seconds and your time starts now. Okay, time's up. If you need more time, you can pause the video, and when you are ready with your answer, you can continue. So I'm gonna read this we're gonna read this together and see which one are our options. First, they found structural differences between those languages and English. Can this be our answer? Yes, this is one of our answers. They found structural differences between those languages and English. So, what are the structural differences they are talking about? So, they are here it is written there is no past, present, and future tense. They are talking about they are talking in the terms of manifest and unmanifested, and then they have told about what is manifest and what is unmanifested. So, A option is our answer. Let me write here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy it from here. Then I'm going to change the question number so it will save time. These are 29 and 30. 29, 30. Okay, so this is our one of our options. Let's read the other options. B. Without English, Native Americans are unlikely to integrate properly. Can this be our answer? No. Why? Because they have not said like without English it would not have been possible. They are like integrating Native Americans. Yes, US government was trying to assimilate Native Americans, but there is no mention that without English it would not have been possible, or it was only possible because of English. So there is no context about that, no mention of this particular thing, so it cannot be our answer. C. Speakers of those languages find it difficult to relate to future time. So yes, they do not use past, present, or future tense, but there is no mention again that the speakers cannot relate to future. So this cannot be our answer also. D. They believe should be protected. No, this is not our answer again, because they said yes, they were considered endangered and exotic, but there is no mention that we need to protect these languages or not, something like that. E. The way things are categorized in the language influence the speaker's worldview. Yes, this is our answer. Let me mark the F first. F cannot be our answer because there is no mention of human experience categorizing it. So E is our answer. Where it is written? Yes, here. Let me copy this. Here it is written. This and similar differences, they argue, suggest a completely different experience of the world. So if you have different experience of the world, so obviously this worldview will be influenced by the languages you speak. I hope it is clear. Let's read the other. There is no mention of any Keith, George, Jennifer, or Martin. There is no mention of any person here. And okay, 35th. Historical attitudes to non European languages should be considered when evaluating Sapir-Whorf. Is there any mention of non European languages? Yes. There is. So we have our answer here. Okay, for this one I will tell you the location. Our location is in this particular sentence, the first sentence itself. So you have around 10 seconds to tell me the answer for this, and your time starts now. Okay, time's up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to write the answer and see whether you were able to arrive at the correct answer or not. And the answer is yes. So now we're going to see why it is our answer. So let's see. So here it is written at that time. Let me use this color. At that time, they were formulating their hypothesis. The US government was encouraging the assimilation of Native Americans. All right. So what it means is, but it means is that when they were doing this particular thing, the US government was trying to do this, so it was the attitude of that particular government, and then that's why they considered it both endangered and exotic. And also that's why there was so many the othering of these tribal cultures may have caused them to overstate the linguistic. So yes, if you want to evaluate Sapir-Whorf hypotheses, you have to take in account into historical attitudes of non-European languages. So what the people of that particular time thought about non-European languages, because obviously here it is written they were doing work on Native American languages. And what is the language? Hopi language. Oh, sorry. I hope it is clear. So let me mark the question number here. I hope you got it. Okay, let's read the other 36th question and see whether the answer is here or not. Chen failed to take account of individual differences in people's characters. So there is no mention of Chen here. So obviously our answer is not in this paragraph. Okay, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna we have done this, so we will read the third paragraph. Very few people. Okay, first, second, and then we're gonna read the third paragraph. So what I'm gonna do is for this is I'm gonna go. Okay, very few people accept the strong form of the hypothesis that our language completely determines our worldview. So very few people are in favor of this. So let me change the color. So okay, however, there is still interest in a weaker form of Sapir and Wolf's ideas. Behavioral economist Keith Chen, so here it is, Keith, has compared the spending and saving habits of this. Okay, so now we have found our first list of person, first question, Keith Chen. So what we're going to do is we're going to read this particular paragraph and see what information is given. We're going to read all the options together, then I will give you some time to tell me the answer. So what does this particular person do? He has compared the spending and saving habits of people who speak futured languages with those whose languages do not contain a future tense. So he has compared people who speak languages that has future tense, like English you can say, with those languages that do not contain any future tense, after accounting for a wide range of other variables. So he accounted for a lot of variables. Chen found that people who use future tense see the future as something other and far away, which discourages the saving habit. So those who were using future tense or who are using future tense, think that it is quite far away from now, so we don't have to worry about that a lot. So and it discourages the saving habit. It, like you can say, YOLO type of thing. You live only once, so you don't have to worry about the future. Or sometimes you can say it's about FOMO, fear of missing out. Conversely, those who do not have a distinct tense or to talk about the future view the future with more immediacy as a time not too distant that they need to save for. So, and those who think the future is not too far, so this is their habit. Despite the research conducted so painstakingly by Chen, anecdotal evidence that we all possess suggests that spending and saving behavior depends on a range of factors, including crucially personality. So, though this research was conducted painstakingly by Chen, painstakingly means he took a lot of pain to do this particular thing. He did a lot of research, basically, something like that, to do this particular thing. But some anecdotal evidence we all possess, obviously, it suggests that spending and saving behavior, it depends on range of factors, and it also includes personality. Okay, it's not only about language, it's also about personality, other factors also. Okay, so Keith Chen, let's see what kind of information is given here. The way we use language to represent other thing of to represent other things affects how we see the world. So the way we use language and it represent other things, that affects how we see the world. Okay. B, language is one of the main causes of social injustice. Language, it's one of the causes, not the main cause, but it's one of the main causes for social injustice. C, untranslatable words confirm Sapir-Whorf hypothesis. So the words that cannot be translated to other language, these words confirm this particular suggestion. The linguistic creativity of individuals disapproves Sapir-Whorf. So the linguistic creativity, sorry about that. The linguistic creativity, it disapproves of the hypothesis. Language, E option, language affects our perceptions at a largely subconscious level. So language at subconscious level, it affects our perceptions. F, social attitudes and prejudice are not necessarily caused by language alone. So something about social attitudes and prejudice. Grammatical structures in a language can affect the way people live. So grammatical structures in a language, it will affect the way people live. Okay, so you have some time to tell me the answer for Keith Chen, and your 10 seconds start now. Okay, time's up. Let's see the let's me write the answer here, and then we will see whether you were able to find the correct answer or not. And the answer to this option is G. Yes, last option. Grammatical structure. Sorry about that. Grammatical structures in a language can affect the way people live. Where it is written? Yes, here. Keith Chen has compared the spending habits, and people who speak future language, they do not do this, while who speak future language do this. Okay, up to here. Let me write the question number here. I hope it is clear, because the people who do not speak future language or who do not use future tense, future language, and those who use future tense, they have different spending and saving habits. So obviously grammatical structures in a language can affect the way people live. So how are you living? Are you a spending person? Because do you become a spending person or a saving person, something like that, spender or a saver? So it affects by the language you use. I hope it is clear. Let me see George. There is no mention of George here. Okay. Let's see the yes no questions. Chen. Okay. Yes, we have Chen. Let me change the color. Chen failed to take account of individual differences in people's characters. Okay. So you have information about this. Okay. Let me read the other question 37th, which is also about Chen. This is about Chen. Chan's research on saving habits lack methodological rigor. So yes, it is. There is about something about saving habits. So we have answer to both these question in our this paragraph, because in the next paragraph there is mention of lack of. So obviously Our answer is in this, and you have for 36th question, you have around 10 seconds to tell me the answer, and your time starts now. Okay, time's up. Let me write the answer to 36 here, and the answer is not given. Why it is not given? Yes, because there is no mention whether Chen failed or Chen succeeded to take into account individual differences in people's character. Okay, there is mention about personality here, but that's about the anecdotal evidence. But there is no mention whether Chen failed or succeeded, like taking into account individuals' differences in characters or not. 37th, Chan's research on saving habits lacks methodological rigor. So when the answer will be true, yes, when the writer says yes, the method used by Chen was not, you can say, detailed enough. Okay, if that is the case, the answer will be yes. But if the writer says no, the method was detailed enough, the answer will be no. But when we don't know whether the method was detailed enough or not, the answer will be not given. So your time starts now. Okay, time's up. Let me write the answer here. What I'm doing. And the answer to this question is, drum roll please. No. Why it is no? Because they are saying it lacks methodological rigor, but no, here they are saying after accounting uh, after accounting for a wide range of variables. So if that person is accounting for a wide range of variables, so they are going at length. Okay, they are doing a lot of work. And also here it is written, despite the research conducted so painstakingly by Chen. So if that is the case, if the research is done so painstakingly, again it will not be like he didn't put any work in it. No, it's not like that. So that's why the answer to this will be no. The writer doesn't think like this. It contradicts the writer's point of view. I hope it is clear. Moving on to 38th, Lakoff. So when we will read about Lakoff, we will read this. Let me read the question only. Lakoff provides strong evidence that our language shapes the way. Okay, we will read this question again when we will read this particular information. Now, we will read about George. For linguist George Lakoff, the persuasive use of metaphor in language supports the view that language shapes the way we see the world. So, like George is saying that the use of metaphor, it supports that the way we use language, it shapes the way we see the world. So different languages use different metaphors, and people view the world according to that. Argument, for instance, is often expressed using the language of war. So if you are arguing with someone, it is usually used like expressed by using war language. Like your position is indefensible, so you cannot defend yourself. That is like war language, hostile type language. She attacked my position. He shot down all my arguments. So if you talk about shot down in its like singularity, so shot down basically you are like shooting someone with a gun and that person falls down, you're killing someone basically. So he shot down all my arguments just mean he dismissed all my arguments. Lakoff invites us to consider how we use the concept of argument if it was expressed using the language of dance instead of war. So this particular person invites us about like it invites us like he wants to use us our imagination, that instead of using argumentative language like language of war, if in arguments if we use language of dance, Would the world be more peaceful if we gracefully approached our dance partner, like argument partner, to work together to create something beautiful? This may be fanciful, but it seems to suggest that language reflects our view of reality and not the other way around. So he's saying that it seems to suggest that language, what it does, it reflects our view of reality and not the other way around. So whatever language we use, we view world according to that, not not other way around. Means like how we see the world is not how we use the language. Are you getting my point? Let me take one more second for of your time. This line is saying that way we speak, we view the world according to that. It's not the other way around, meaning to say the how we see the world, we do not speak like that. Okay, we'll continue. Lakoff uses the phrase time is money to illustrate this. So now he is using the metaphor time is money to illustrate this. Surely it is the importance we place on money that has led to so many expressions in our language comparing the two valuable commodities in phrases such as waste time, use your time profitably, and budget your time. So because we value time and money both, so we are using metaphor like this. You should time use your time profitably because we all like profit, who like losses obviously, and budget your time. You should be very careful with your time because time is money. Okay, now for George Lakoff, you will have around 10 seconds to tell me which option, like from A to F, because G, we have done this for 31st question, Keith. For George, you have about 10 seconds to tell me which option suits the best, and your time starts now. Okay, time's up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to write the answer here, and the answer to this is A. Let me mark this. The way we use language to represent other things affects how we see the world. So here they are saying using of metaphor. So how we use the language to represent other thing is how we view the world. Like for instance, here it is in use of metaphor, and in arguments if we use these kind of things. Okay, so then he invites us to let me change the color. Then he invites us to like use the language of dance instead of war so that the world may be more peaceful. Okay, so but for this particular scenario I will mark here the answer. This is our question 32. I hope you're getting my point. Okay, let's read yes no questions. Okay, 38th question. Lakoff provides strong evidence that our language shapes the way we behave. Okay. So here the question is when it will be yes. Yes, when this person provides a strong evidence that our language shapes the way we behave, then it will be yes. When it will be no, when it doesn't provide this evidence, or when there is something contradictory to this particular position. Okay, then the writer will say no, he doesn't do this, he is doing something else. When it will be not given, when we don't know whether he is providing any evidence or not, whether that evidence is strong enough or not, if we don't know anything about that, we'll say the answer is not given. Okay, yes, there is the answer for this. Let me mark the location so that you don't have to waste too much time for this. So the answer is here. Okay, now I'm gonna mark the location here. Till then, you have around 10 seconds to tell me whether the answer should be yes, no, or not given. And time starts now. Okay, time's up. The answer is no. Can you tell me why the answer is no? Don't worry if you were not able to find the correct answer, or if you said yes or not given, I will tell you why it is no. The answer is no, because here they are saying it, this person, what it did, it provides, or what it does, it provides strong evidence. But here is they saying seems to suggest. So what does this mean, seems to suggest? Yes, they're saying it is likely it can happen, but I'm not so sure about this. But if there is strong evidence for something, yeah, you are saying with 100% surety, yes, because of this strong evidence I can say for certain that this thing happens. But it seems to suggest is not a you language we use for strong evidence. It is a language we use when we are not sure about anything, okay, or something. Sorry, for this particular in this particular scenario, when we are not sure about something, then we use this particular language, seems to suggest. I hope it is clear. Okay, 39th question. Metaphors are a reflection of the way people see the world. Okay, we have like uh, read about this in this particular paragraph, all about metaphors here. Again, for this question you have about 10 seconds and your time starts now. So I'm gonna write. Okay, I'm gonna write the answer here. What is happening with the mouse? Guys, just give me a few seconds. Somebody's at the door. Let me take a look. Okay, I'm back. So where were we? Okay, we were discussing 38th, 39th. Metaphors are a reflection of the way people see the world. Okay, so when the answer will be yes, I think we have discussed this question or not. Let me discuss it again. So when the answer will be yes, when yes, metaphors are a reflection of the way people see the world, we will say yes. When the answer will be no, when people do not see the world according to the metaphors they use, and when it will be not given, yes, when we don't know whether metaphors affect people's worldview or not. And I believe we have read about this. So I have also taken some time to look at the door. So I'm going to write the answer here and see whether you were able to arrive at the correct answer or not. And the answer is yes, because in the entire paragraph it was written yes, even here use of metaphor shapes the way we see the world. Here it is written, and then they're saying this, yes, we importance of money, so we use the phrase to illustrate this. Okay, so this is the way we see the world. Okay, let me write here. I hope it is clear. So in the entire paragraph the writer was talking about, okay, now it's better. So in the entire paragraph, writer was talking about use of metaphor to view the world. 39. I hope it is clear. So we have done all the yes, no, not given questions. 40th, we will do it later. Uh, 33, 34, we have done. These are pending. Okay, only three questions are left. And how many paragraphs? One, two, three. Three paragraphs are left. So I believe now we will should encounter this Jennifer person. Okay, let's read the next paragraph. So called gendered languages provide an interesting context to investigate the Sapir-Whorf hypothesis. In Spanish, for instance, the masculine plural form alumnos would be used to refer to a group of students containing 99 females and one male. Okay, now in Spanish, we are using this particular language. Okay, plural form this. to demonstrate this situation. This is because Spanish plural forms are masculine by default. English speakers who learn Spanish assume that in such a case, the feminine of form aluminas would be more appropriate, or preferably a gender neutral form which mirrors their own language. Academic Jennifer, here is the name of the person, claims that countries with gendered languages have higher than average levels of gender inequality. So she's saying that in those countries that use gendered languages, their average levels of gender inequality is higher. She nevertheless concedes that when speaking a genderless language, people's minds may focus on the masculine. For example, mentality picturing a man when they hear the word chairperson. This suggests that culture carries more weight than language when it comes to the way we interact with our social reality. So she's saying that the culture, it carries more weight than language. So the culture is more important, or you can say more impactful than language when it comes to the way we interact with social reality. Okay, let me do this now. Jennifer, you have around 10 seconds to tell me, like, B, C, D, E, or F, which options out of these should be the answer to the question number 33. And according to this paragraph, and your time starts now. Okay, time's up. Let me write the answer here and see whether you were able to find the correct answer or not. And the answer is F option. Social attitudes and prejudice are not necessarily caused by language alone. This one. I hope you were able to find this answer. Why it is our answer? So here it is written. So first, this is about prejudice and social attitude. So basically, let me mark this here. Higher level of gender inequality, and then this suggests that culture carries more weight than language. So obviously, not alone, language is not the alone culprit here. Culture is culture is a bit more important, but also basically it also plays a role in this particular scenario. So we have to be very careful about that. What is happening with this? Just give me one sec. Okay, this is question 33. So here it is, they are saying that culture is also one of the factors that plays role in social attitudes and prejudice against females. I hope it is clear. Okay, let's read the 34th question now. Next paragraph for 34th question, Martin. There are many who have challenged even the weaker form of Sapir-Whorf hypothesis. Philosopher Martin Heidegger. So here they are talking about this person, Martin Heidegger. A contemporary of Sapir and Whorf rejected the idea that language conditions our view of reality. So this person, he is outright rejecting this idea that language conditions our view of reality, like how we see the world. It doesn't depend on language, citing the fact that every human being innovates with language and creates new utterances based on new realities they experience. So what this person gave example of that, like every human, like it innovates with language and it creates new utterances based on the new realities they experience. Some cite the existence of words that cannot be translated into other languages as support for the hypothesis. So they are saying that there are some words that are not translatable, that cannot be translated. The word hige, Hygge, okay, pronounced Hygge in Norwegian and Danish, needs a whole sentence to express its definition in English. What's the definition? A feeling of coziness and surrounding yourself with things that make you feel good. Clearly, this concept exists in every culture, but for those who do not speak Danish or Norwegian, it is difficult to say whether a translation of Hygge is an accurate reflection of its precise meaning when used by Danes and Norwegians. So they are talking about particular words that cannot be translated, and if you want to translate those words, you need a complete sentence for that. Okay, so for this, you have around 10 seconds to tell me if there is what is the answer or whether there is answer or not, because we have only one paragraph left. Okay, you have time to tell me the answer in this particular paragraph, and your time starts now. Okay, time's up. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write the answer here and see. Sorry about that. And see whether you were able to find the correct answer or not. And our answer to this is option D. Let me mark here. I believe many of you would have marked C, like untranslatable words confirm, Sapir-Whorf, hypothesis. In fact, it is the opposite. These words that cannot be translated disapproves their theory. So here it is written, rejected the idea. So because those words cannot be translated, so these words so doesn't support hypothesis of Sapir-Whorf. In fact, they disapprove. This particular person, Martin, disapproves their theory based on these words that cannot be translated from one language to other as it is. I hope it is clear. Okay, so let's see, we have done all these questions, we have done this. Now what's remaining is question number 40, but for that let me read the last paragraph, then we will read these options and see which option suits the best. There is no consensus on the precise relationship between language and perception. It is too complex a matter for that, and the controversy will continue. So there is no particular consensus, so there is no particular one agreement on the precise relationship between language and perception. It's too complex. Okay, and obviously controversy will continue because people will be in favor and against this particular hypothesis. However, both learning languages and learning about languages foster intercultural understanding, and most would agree, therefore, that this should be encouraged. So, they're saying that when you are learning about languages or when you are learning languages, they foster intercultural understanding, and people would agree, and or most people would agree that this should be encouraged. Okay, so let's read the 40th question now. Which of the options is the summary of the writer's position in the passage? A option, the Sapir-Whorf hypotheses have broadly been rejected. Like this idea is broadly rejected by like a lot of people. B, more focused research is needed to test these hypotheses. Like we need more research to test. Culture has more influence than language on people's behavior. Like culture, it has more influence. Sorry about that. Culture, it has more influence than language on people's behavior. Last, Sapir and Whorf's original ideas have been misunderstood. So whatever their original ideas were, they have been misunderstood. Okay, so now you have around 10 seconds to tell me the answer, and your 10 seconds start now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark the option first, then we'll see why that option is correct and why others option are not correct. So which option have you marked? A, B, C or D? And the correct answer is yes, C option. Culture has more influence than language on people's behavior. How can we say this? This is written in like two or three places, you can say. Okay, first we'll look at this particular thing where we have marked also. So here it is, first it is written here, suggest that culture carries more weight than language. So this suggests, basically this is being suggested by the writer Jennifer. She said this particular thing, and this is then suggested by the writer, or what Jennifer means. Okay, and then in the last particular paragraph there is saying, he's saying that there is no consensus on the precise relationship between language and perception. It's a too complex matter. So this matter is too complex for this. Okay, so let me write here. Then we'll see why other options are not our answer. That way it will be clearer to you. So let's see why other options are not our answer. A option, the Sapir-Whorf hypotheses have broadly been no. This is in fact opposite. Only one person rejected it. That is this last, which one? Martin. Other were not rejecting it, they were embodying it in fact. So this cannot be our answer. This is contradictory. There is nothing mentioned about more research is needed or not. So this cannot be obviously our answer. Okay, this cannot be our answer. D, misunderstood. We haven't been told it either that these ideas were misunderstood. So they gave their ideas and then we focused on their idea. There's nothing about this. So only C option is left. Culture has more influence. So there is written that there is no precise relationship between language and perception. And once they are told that culture carries more weight than language when it comes to the way we interact with our social reality. I hope it is clear. So we have done this also. We have done this also, and we have done these questions as well. Okay, so this is how you should first read the passages carefully, read the questions, make a strategy, and then start reading the passage. If you read everything carefully, if you understand everything, you will always be able to find the correct answer without fail. That's why students score 9 bands in reading. It's not like they have done those readings previously or they knew the answer beforehand. They are doing the reading for the first time as other students. Still they get band 9. Why? Because they are reading carefully. They are able to understand what they are reading and they are able to solve the answers like the way I have told you to solve these questions. So if you are not able to understand any question, be my guest, watch that part of the video again and again, or you can watch the entire video again and again, whatever suits your needs. So if you want more readings, you can go to our page, you can go to our channel, you will in our video list you will find other readings as well. If you want our help, you can go to our website. I will leave the link in my bio or description. You can contact us there. You can enroll in our video course, which is one of the most, is if not the most detailed course on all 4 modules of IELTS, be it reading, listening, speaking, and writing. So we have made videos on each module. We have covered all the types of task 1 academic or task 1 GT, task 2 academic and GT. For speaking, we have covered all the 3 parts. We have told you about the structures that you should use. We will teach you the tried and tested methods, structures that have helped thousands of students to achieve band 7 or more in writing and or speaking. If you're struggling with that, you are more than welcome to join our course. And if you want our one-to-one speaking slot, want to book our one-to-one speaking slot, you can book that also. If you want to take our writing correction service, you can book our writing correction service also. We will mark your essay according to the 4 parameters that are given by IELTS official website, and then we will tell you how many bands you are likely to score with your current writing and what you need to do to improve to get your desired band score. So that's it for this video then. I will see you in the next video. Till then, take care and goodbye.